video lecture number 8 on saying please by A.G. Gardiner. Hello dear students and dear friends. In my last video lecture, I had already started with the second prose lesson on saying please by the writer A.G. Gardiner. I discussed the icebreakers of this lesson and introduced you the writer and the lesson in my last video lecture. Today too I will continue with the same prose lesson on saying please by the writer A.G. Gardiner. But friends, before moving ahead, I would like to tell you and give you certain important instructions, and they are: number 1, make one special long book or register for the subject of English to write the notes and to do the homework. Number 2, in that long book, first write the title of the lesson at the top, and below it write the meanings of the difficult words from the margin activities given in every lesson. Number 3, below those margin activities, solve the icebreakers, the margin activities, and the brainstorming section, and write the answers of all these activities there. Do the same for all the lessons after finishing with each and every lesson. Now let's turn towards the lesson on saying please. As far as the lesson on saying please is concerned, this lesson has 3 important points. Point number 1, this lesson is an essay. Point number 2, the theme of this lesson on saying please is good manners, courtesy, politeness, civility, and morality. In this lesson, the writer points out the importance of good manners in social life. He emphasizes the importance of courtesy and politeness in our daily behavior. And the last and the third important point of this lesson is that here in this lesson, the writer shows how polite speech and manners sweeten the atmosphere around us, and how discourtesy and ill manners spoil or pollute it. This is nicely explained by the writer with various incidents and illustrations in this lesson. In order to explain the disadvantages of the bad manners and the advantages of the good manners, and the importance of the good manners and the courtesy, and how they infect the atmosphere around us, the writer provides 2 contrasting examples in this lesson. The first example is of the lift man who throws the passenger out of the lift for not saying please to him. And the chain of the persons who are uncivil and rude in connection with the liftman. The other example is of a very polite, courteous and civil bus conductor. In this essay, the writer says that bad manners probably do more to poison the stream of the general life than all the crimes in the calendar of the cases arranged for trial in the court. To provide this, or to prove this, he gives the chain of the persons having bad manners, like the housemaid, the cook, the employer's wife, the employer, the passenger, and the liftman. First, see this chain of the rude and ill-mannered persons, and how do they infect, or how they infect and spoil the atmosphere around them just because of discourtesy and ill manners. First, the housemaid is rude to the cook, so the cook behaved very rudely with the passenger's employer's wife. Then the employer's wife controlled and frightened her husband and made her husband a henpecked husband. The employer then does not say good morning to the passenger, and because of this, the passenger is so rude and ill-mannered towards the liftman, and in the end, as a result, the liftman throws the passenger out of the lift. This is the chain of the rude and ill-mannered fellows or the persons which resulted into the atmosphere of distress and the atmosphere polluted of the feelings of discourtesy. The another example is of a very polite, good-mannered and courteous bus conductor, indicating the advantages and the importance of good manners and courtesy. The writer himself has experienced this in the company of this bus conductor. Once the writer was boarding the bus and he found that he had left home without any money in his pocket. In such a situation, any other bus conductor would tell him to get off the bus, as he had no money for the fare. But this polite and generous bus conductor was an exception to this. He told the writer that he need not to get off the bus and gave him the ticket. When the writer asked him where he should send the fare, this polite and very civil bus conductor cheerfully replied him that it was all right and he would see him soon. This polite bus conductor behaved very politely and courteously not only with the writer but also with the other people in the bus too. In other situations, when the writer was going through the bus and his sensitive toe was trampled on, this conductor said sorry to him and expressed his feelings of apology and courtesy to the writer. In the rainy season, while dealing with the people in the bus, this polite bus conductor would run up the stairs to give someone the tip that there was a room inside. While dealing with the old people in the bus, this bus conductor behaved very considerately, just like their own son to them. While dealing with the children in the bus, this bus conductor was very caring to them, just as their father. While dealing with the young people in the bus, this conductor always indulged in some merry jest with them. And while dealing with the blind man in the bus, this conductor would set that blind man down safely on the pavement and then took that blind man wherever he wanted to go, after telling the driver to wait for a while. Here, the writer expects that other people should also learn the politeness, good manners, and courtesy from this bus conductor. In the end of the lesson, the writer suggests that instead of throwing that gentleman out of the lift for not saying please, the lift man would have had more subtle and effective revenge if he had treated that man with greater politeness. Then the lift man would have had the victory not only over that rude and insensitive man or the person, but also over himself. And this victory over own self is very important, and it is the real victory only. So the writer rightly says the polite man may be losing the material advantage, but he always has the spiritual victory. Friends, this is what the content of this lesson is. And as we know, manners make man. We should learn from this lesson that we should be always very courteous to others. We should always follow the good manners in our life, and we must always be polite while behaving or dealing with our life in our routine day-to-day life. So friends, we should stop here. In my next video lecture, we will deal with the margin activities. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.